Hello and welcome to the System Surveyor on-demand training video. Today we'll be covering three things. Number one, overview of how to use System Surveyor 2.0 tablet app. Number two, overview of System Surveyor access from the web browser. And number three, collaboration and guest users. But before we got into all of those, what is System Surveyor? System Surveyor is a leading software platform for site surveys, system design, and lifecycle management. The components that make up the System Surveyor platform are a cloud-based web application as well as a companion mobile tablet app that is available both the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store. These tablet apps allow you to sync from the field to the office with no problems. And here is a quick overview of how that works. So let's say you're working out in the field at a customer site from your iPad app. You can then work from your iPad app, whether online or offline, sync that to the System Surveyor cloud. You will need to be online, of course, for that to happen. And then that will allow either you or one of your coworkers or teammates to work on that same survey from their home, from their office, wherever they access that online via the System Surveyor web app. Now let's dive right into the System Surveyor 2.0 tablet app. What you're seeing now is the System Surveyor 2.0 tablet app. When you first sign into the System Surveyor 2.0 tablet app, you'll have this favorite section, which will consist of all the sites on your site list, which will cover what the site list is as soon as we switch over to the web app. And then you'll have this all sites section, which will consist of all the sites that you have access to across all the teams that you have access to. On both the all sites and the favorite section, you have the ability to search for a specific site, as well as filter out specific teams. So if you're on multiple teams, you can filter it out so you're just focused on one specific team that you're looking for. On the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that plus button that will allow you to create a new folder for your sites, which will allow you to group your sites together. As you can see in the background there, I have Jamel's projects, which is a site grouping that I've created. And then, of course, the new site. When you push the new site, this will allow you to create a new site where you can give the site a name. So we've given the site a name. We can get rid of our keyboard there. I could fill out the address information if I'd like. I'm not going to right now. One thing I always recommend doing is double checking from the team and folder section that you have both the team and the folder correct that you're wanting the site to be created on. And this may be, if you're on multiple teams or only on one team, if you're on one team, you'll only have that one team to select from. But if you're on multiple teams, I highly recommend double checking that you have the right team selected before creating your site. Once you do hit OK to create your site, that's going to take you to this screen, which is inside the site itself. From this screen here, you'll have the ability to edit this site information via the edit info. You'll be able to search a site, and a little refresh there to get the latest sync from the web app down to your tablet app. And then, of course, you have the three dots there that will allow you to send a link. And this send a link will allow you to give someone read-only access to this specific site. All you need to do is put in their email address, set an expiration date, put in a little message if you like, and they'll receive an email with a secure link and a passcode that will allow them to access this particular site in a read-only fashion. So they'll be able to see all these surveys, everything on that site, but it will only be in a read-only fashion. To create a survey on a site, you'll simply hit this plus in the bottom right-hand corner, and this will allow you to create a new folder as well as a new survey. So I'll go ahead and hit this new survey button. This is going to take you to the 5 options that we have to create our floor plan. So from here, we have the ability to bring in a photo gallery, which is going to access our tablet's photo app. Camera is going to allow us to take a picture using our tablet's camera. So whether it be have a paper floor plan, a fire escape plan, anything that's in front of you, you can take a picture of it and create a floor plan from it. Satellite image is going to use Google Maps to allow you to search for an address and get an external view of that location. Local files will access your tablet's local files, allowing you to import a floor plan that way. So if you are using your tablet and maybe your tablet's connected to a Google Drive, a Dropbox, you can access those from your tablet's local files. but you will need to be on the internet to do that. The other options, aside from the local files, accessing Google Drive, satellite image, those you will need internet access to access them and create your floor plan. However, the photo gallery, camera, and quick start, as well as if you're accessing your local files but not going into, you're using the on my iPad section, this will allow you to access those and create this survey while offline. So I'm going to go ahead and use the photo gallery to go ahead and bring in my floor plan here. Once I do select my floor plan, this will allow me to go ahead and crop my floor plan to make it exactly how I want it to be. I can rotate this in either direction that I need it to go. Once I have my crop set exactly how I want it to be, I'll hit next. Once we have that crop, it's going to take me into set my scale where I can move this blue line anywhere that I want it to be. And once I have it in place, I can shrink it down so that it measures exactly what I want it to measure. And so once I have that blue line in place, I can use the plus or minus here to set my scale, as well as I can tap right into it and say, yeah, this is 9 feet. You can also from here set your initial element icon size. So I know they're pretty small, so we can make them pretty big. And then once you have that all set to exactly what you're needing, you'll simply hit next. This will allow you to come in and name your survey here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. Hit done. I can also fill in any address information, give it a description if I'd like. And if I had folders on this site, I'd be able to drop it right into a folder using that folder drop down there. But since I don't, that folder drop down is grayed out for me. So now from here, we can go ahead and hit next, and it's going to take us right in to edit the survey. So now once I'm editing my survey, it is just a drag and drop. So I can just drag over this fixed camera. And once you place anything that has an area of coverage, which is that yellow cone that you see there, that's going to bring up the area of coverage toolbar that you saw pop up in the upper right-hand corner. This will allow me to put in my information that I'm wanting to for the depth of my area of coverage. So maybe I want it to be 20 feet. I can do that, and it shrunk it right down for me. I can also change the angle as well. And now I can still do all of this manually as well, but you'd have the option to do both there. To the left of that angle is going to be the color and the transparency for your area of coverage. So you can change the color, change how transparent it is, do any of that from that there. Then to the left of that color option there, you'll have that camera, and that's going to allow you to tap that. It'll open up your iPad's camera. You'll use a photo. Once you use the photo, it's going to take you into begin placing annotations onto, oh, sorry about that. It's going to begin placing, allow you to place annotations onto your photo here. So I can go and do a free draw here. I can draw a shape. Maybe I want that shape to be a solid fill, but I want the transparency to be less than 100% here. I want it to be down to like 50. Maybe I want to draw a circle as well. I want that to be an outline. I can change the depth of those lines, and I can change the lines to be as transparent as I want them to be. So you can do a lot here on this photo, and then I can, of course, undo or redo all of them. We also allow you to drop in the device icon itself onto your photo, so you can show exactly where you're wanting that photo to be, or sorry, where you're wanting that icon to be on the photo. So super helpful there. And then, of course, I can select it and get rid of it if I'd like. So now I'll go ahead and hit done. And once I hit done, you'll notice that that photo is now attached directly to that element. So if I were to go into the element here and go into the element information, I can see that photo there attached. So now when I hit done, and I tap on that element there, this is the element toolbar. From here, you'll have the ability to change your element install status, change the color of your element. The left of that color is going to allow you to access that area of coverage toolbar that we saw earlier. You'll have duplicate. The camera icon will allow you to attach a photo again. And then, of course, the pencil with the lines will access the element information. And from here, this is where you'd put in all of the information about your device. So whether that be the descriptive label, the room or location that it's in, the component manufacturer, the component model number, the device price, all of that will go in the element information here. And you have your installation tab for any installation information you need, your functional tab, your maintenance, your configuration, activity log, and accessories, and a little note section as well. You can, of course, also take advantage of the element profiles that you have on your account here, and you can bring in an element profile, so it'll fill out that information for you as well. So now I can hit done. I can go around, and on the 2.0, you do have the ability to search. So I can search for a specific element. Maybe I want to search for a single door. And as I begin typing, you saw it get rid of some of these system types there. So now I can open up the access control and drop a single door right in place. And as some of you may know, some of you may not, the single door is what we call a container element. And you know it's a container because if we zoom in here, it has that slight border around it, letting us know that it's a container. And what that means is that we can drop other elements inside of it. And that's super helpful, especially with doors, since we know that those often comprise themselves of multiple uh, elements, not just the door, but maybe an electronic lock, a card reader, a request to exit, so on and so forth. And instead of placing those devices all around that door to signify, hey, this is a part of that door, with System Surveyor and the containers, you can just drop those elements right inside of that container to keep it nice and clean, and also lets you know that all of those are a part of this one door. So now if I were to tap that door and go right into the element information, I can cycle through the container itself as well as its sub elements to begin filling out that information. The other thing I always want to highlight, of course, is the cable path. So if I were to drop a node in this server room, we do have two cable paths, so the regular cable path and our flex cable path. As you can see, if I were to get rid of this from here, drop in a flex cable path, as I connect the flex cable path, the more I manipulate this cable path, the more points of contact I'll get to then further manipulate it. So I can drag this down here, I can move that there. So I can really show the path that I want that cable path to follow. And what's great is when I go into the element information with System Surveyor under the functional tab, as long as you're on our scale plan or above, you'll get the cable path measurement. So that way you can also see the distance. And that does use the scale that you set. So once again, that's why it's important to keep that scale as accurate as possible. From here, we'll go ahead and hit done and just talk about some of the things around the app here that you do have. So of course you have your drawing tools that are going to allow you to make notes on your floor plan, add shapes on your floor plan, anything that you need to do here. Then of course you have your element information, and that's going to just show your element information as you go through and cycle through your devices here. So then you can hit done and it's going to be stuck on that element information here. Then you have your totals, which is going to give you a breakdown of the different elements that you have and give you a total for them. So I can group that by element name, by installation status, by model. I can even go by container as well. So as I open up these containers, I can see what's inside of them. Then, of course, you do have the photo tour as well. So if you have photos attached to your devices, you can open those up and see the different photos. And you can even select one and click into it to enlarge it to see exactly what's on that photo. Then, of course, you have your survey information. This is where you can release the edit as well as edit the survey information. Along the top, you'll have that back button. The filters will be here, so I can filter out the elements. Maybe I only want to see the AOC. Maybe I want to see element ID. Maybe I only want to focus on the video surveillance system type. I can take those off and bring them right back. And then, of course, you can filter by installation status as well. So super helpful once your surveys get pretty full, you can filter out to focus on what you need to. You also have the search to search for specific elements that you're looking for as well. So super helpful there. And of course, you have that $sign, which is just going to be your budget estimator range. And then, of course, you have the save, done editing. And of course, you have the three dots here that will open up this little menu here where you can export this as a PDF, send a link, and the send a link is going to be survey specific. So if I were to hit that send a link, I'd send someone a secure link and a passcode that would allow them read-only access to this specific survey. And then, of course, you have your set scale, crop, replace floor plan, reset element colors, and then, of course, your element icon size, your global AOC transparency. Of course, as I hit done editing here, I can now, as I'm not editing, I can still access those totals and photo tour as well. So you don't need to be editing to see that information. Now, as I back out to the site overview, of course, now that I'm done with my survey, I can go ahead and hit upload to upload my survey to the web so that if I wanted to, my teammate or I could also continue uploading. And as you can see, sometimes when you get that retry upload, you just simply have to retry the upload. And now it says synced, it's dissect. Now I have a download. So if I wanted to work on that survey again, I can just download it right to my tablet. Now we're going to switch over to before we switch over to the web app, I just want to highlight the little 3-dot menu on the survey preview from the site level here. So if I hit this 3 dots on that survey preview, it's going to give me release edit, turn auto sync on, delete, send a link, and report survey. The ones I want to highlight here are going to be that report survey. And that's because if you're ever speaking to our support team, they may ask you to report the survey, and that is what they're referring to. And when you hit it, all that does is grab that survey data and put it into a text file. You then email that into the support team, and this will allow our devs to go in and take a look at that survey data so they can see if anything's wrong with it or find out what's wrong with it. Just want to always point that out so that way everyone is aware. So now I'll go ahead and switch over to the web app so that we can look at System Surveyor on the web. So now what you're seeing is System Surveyor on the web. So the System Surveyor web access, and I'm gonna go ahead and refresh here just so that way I can get that new site that I created on my tablet app. And there it is. There's that System Surveyor training overview site that we just created on the tablet app. It is on the web app. And before we dive into that site itself, I want to talk about this site list. I mentioned the site list when we first got into the 2.0 app, tablet app. And that site list is just what's on your site list when you're on a specific team. So if you're on multiple teams, you can click on this site list to change your workbench. And let's say you're looking for a specific site that doesn't appear on your site list. You can always click on the library here to bring in that site. So maybe you have a coworker that created a site and you don't see it. You can always just check it off from the library, hit done, and now that site appears. And it works the same way if you're wanting to remove it. Just go right back into library, uncheck it, and hit done, and it will be removed from your site list. So a very helpful way to keep your site list nice and organized and focused on your current projects. And then I'll go into the site that we just created, and there's that survey we just created as well. So now we can see all of that there. And of course, the site level looks a bit different than on the tablet app. We'll cover the contacts and the team permissions here in just a second. I want to show you how to create a survey on the web app and some of the differences between the two. So as they create a new survey here, we do have the 4 options to bring in our floor plan. So of course, local resource is going to go through your computer's files. If you have a camera connected to your computer, maybe a webcam, you can use that to take a photo. You have Quick Start, which is going to give you a blank canvas. And then there's the Google Maps, as I mentioned, which is the satellite image from the tablet app. I'm going to go ahead and select the Google Maps here just to show what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and put in, let's go Austin High School, just a local high school here. And when using Google Maps, I can sort of show where I want this to be. So I'm going to use this area. I'll hit next. And that's going to take us to this screen here. This is an important, we're going to stop here just real quick because this is important. I always want to point it out. To crop and set your scale on the web, regardless of how you brought in the floor plan, unless of course you did Quick Start, which is just going to take you straight into start your survey. But if you did Google Maps, local files, you have to hit this crop and set scale, and this will allow you to crop your floor plan. So here I can crop this down. I can hit the check mark, and now that is going to be cropped. This will then take you to set your scale. So you'd move this red line to what you want to measure and then hit set. Because I use the Google Maps, I do not have to set my scale because it already exists in here. So you can go and just hit set and save. But if you're using any other option, you want to set your scale. And then, of course, you can change your element icon size as well. But as I said, when I'm using Google Maps, you don't have to set your scale because it's already set. So you can go and hit save. And now I can give this survey a name. And let's go ahead and give it a name. And we'll call it web access. Now we can hit save if we'd like, or we can fill out some location information, a description, a survey label, and as well as on the web app, you do also have the ability to drop this into a folder, but you get the ability to create a new folder from here if you want to. So now we'll go ahead and hit save, and it's going to take us right in to start our survey. And over here on the survey, what we can do here is, of course, just like on the tablet app, it is a drag and drop, but you will notice there isn't the search function just yet. That is going to be coming later this year. But once you place any of the cameras or anything with an area of coverage, what you're going to get is this area of coverage box. And with the cameras, you get this camera advisor. And the way that this works is, of course, you have your angle and your depth there, but it's going to tell you, depending on I always like to refer this as depending on the job that camera is doing. So, general surveillance, detection, recognition, identification, depending on the job that it's doing, it will give you a required resolution to get this quality picture. So, of course, as I make that smaller, as you can see, you make it, the smaller you make it, as you change that, it changes the required resolution. So if I'm just doing general surveillance to cover that area that I have selected, it's just a 2-megapixel camera will give me that quality picture. But as I make this bigger, it changes that required resolution. So something to be aware of and very helpful there. From here, you can either hit done or attributes. I'm going to hit attributes to go into the element information here so I can begin placing that information in here. From here, I can, of course, go into images to add a new image, add a PDF to my element, or even a web link. And from here, I can also fill out that element information on my installation tab, the functional, the maintenance, configuration, activity log, and accessories. So I can fill all of that information out. You also will have your element profiles here. So I can go ahead and select one if I wanted to. I can then come in and say, oh yeah, I'm going to duplicate this one because we're going to use the same camera over here. Then I can go into the attributes. What you'll notice is you have this save current as element profile. That's something that if you are the team admin or account admin, you will see. And this will also save anything in the element attributes with a blue star as a element profile. So a quick way to create your element profiles or edit them if you'd like. So you can save current and you can overwrite an existing element to replace it. I do also want to show the containers here. So of course you have containers just like on the tablet app, and those are signified by that slide border. And that of course allows us to drop elements inside of it just like so. Now going around the side here, you have this $sign that's going to be your estimated budget range. To access the drawing tools on the web, that'll be this button here underneath the save. It's where I can draw on a square if I wanted to. I can also get rid of it. I can draw a text box here if I wanted to. Allows me to do a lot here. Then I can hit done. You have this button here that is going to give you the layers. So of course I can turn off the annotation layer. I can filter by install status, the system types, and then this is also where you set your global AOC transparency. You have the pencil icon that's going to allow you to reset your scale, replace your floor plan, or change your element icon size. You have comments, and this will allow you to at someone that's a part of your team in the comments. So super helpful there for communicating and collaborating. You have the save button, very important. Save as often as possible. So now I'm going to back out to the survey overview here. And this will allow you to see the survey information as well as edit that survey information. You have your project information. So if you are taking advantage of this, you could put in certain project information here to keep track of. Then, of course, you have your report here. And this is where you go to create or export your survey. So of course, we have the classical reports that allow you to export a compilation of different things. You can filter by annotation, system type, install status. So that will allow you to, maybe you want to run a report on just your video surveillance or just what you have in place. You can uncheck those other items. Just focus your report on what you need it to be on. You have the enhanced reports that allow you to sort of select a bill of materials, a photo tour, floor plan with legend, floor plan, cable path. And once you select one, it does also allow you to filter that system type as well as the install status. And then you have a couple more enhanced options here, and you can change your size and then create that PDF. Any reports that you create will appear under this creative reports. So now we'll go back to the site dashboard here to speak a bit about guest users and collaboration. And so collaboration and guest users, you do have contacts here that are site specific. So I can hit this pencil here to create a new contact, but this is just going to show them as a contact for the project. Most often used to just anyone that's not in your system survey, but you want to have their information available for your team to know who is associated with the project. That's what you might want to use a contact for. But if you're on our scale or above plan, you can invite someone as a guest user. And to do that, you just hit this toggle here. You can give them edit or read only permissions. And of course, just like it sounds, so edit permissions will allow someone to go in and edit this survey. Read only will allow them to go in and only look at things on the site. So very important. Be very cautious about who you give edit permissions to. Like I said, they can go in, delete things, change things. So you want to make sure it's someone that you trust and they know what they're doing. Then, of course, you can set the expiration date, whether a week, 2 weeks, 30 days, or even a custom date. And once you hit add, it's going to send them an email saying so-and-so has invited you to System Surveyor Training Overview site. There'll be a web link on there that they'll have to click to accept the invite. So something that's important to know, they have to click the link in the email in order to accept the invite. Because if they don't, I'm going to go ahead and add myself here as a guest user. And once I add, what you'll see here is I have a P next to my name. So if you have someone that you've invited as a guest user, they say, oh, I can't see it, I don't see it, always come in and double check. If it says P, that means they haven't accepted the invite, so have them click the email. And if it says R or E, they've accepted the invite, they may have to log out and back in to see that site. You do, of course, also have site level reports that you create. So just like these survey level reports, you have your classic, enhanced, and Excel, but this just allows you to combine multiple surveys on one report. So very helpful if you have maybe multiple floors on a site, multiple buildings on a site, and you want to run all of the video surveillance across all of the floors, all the buildings. That's how you'd want to do that. You can, of course, also share a site on the web as well, sort of like you did on the tablet app with that send a link. To do that, you'd go from the site list here. So from the main page on System Surveyor, you click the 3 dots and you just use the send a link. And this this 3-dot menu will also allow you to move that site to a particular site grouping that you've created as well. So now we're going to switch back over to the PowerPoint really quickly. This is going to be the end of the System Surveyor overview video. So as I make that switch, I just want to provide the summary once again that the tablet app is very powerful in the field for capturing that information that you need for your customer to complete your job, as well as maintaining those photos. And then, of course, the most important thing is to get started by dropping in your floor plan, testing out the drag and drop, as well as running that bill of material, that BOM report that we saw at the survey level. So thank you all for joining, and have a great rest of your day.